I appreciate it. Okay. 3, 2. And we're live. Welcome to another evening of a focusing conversation with my dear friend and an incredible therapist and mentor, Lynn Preston. Thank you for joining me in my home, Lynn.
Yes, I came all the way to Brooklyn
Yeah.
to be here. It's very exotic when you live in Manhattan to go to Brooklyn.
And it's just such a joy to get to share my production space with you and get to share you with the world and the community here on YouTube.
This is a very fancy space. I don't know if all of you can see all these cameras, and
I'll
it's
have
very
to do a
fancy.
behind the scenes video.
Yes, of your space.
I was sharing with my patrons over the weekend on Patreon. We had a little live stream where I just showed them Tiffy's spots and this crazy table that we're sitting at. But I think the thing that most excites me about this, Lynn, is I had the opportunity to talk to you while my grandma was passing. Grandma Bobby, and the focusing conversation that we had, I think gave me a lot of space to let go of the guilt, the fear, the, I don't know, the resentment, just like the feelings that come up in hard times with hard conversations. And this is definitely a moment for trigger warnings and things where if anybody is like not wanting to have like a personal talk tonight or kind of get real, like, no worries. This will be here if you're ready for it. And if it's not for you, that's okay too. And for those of you who are interested, I think it's going to be really special. It was when we got to talk, I feel like I got to show up for my grandma as the grandson that
Yes.
she always knew me as, and I always
Yes,
wanted to
yes,
be, but
yes.
never experienced myself as, and it just was beautiful.
Yeah. She's
And
always here with us.
oh my
I
gosh!
always feel
Well,
her here.
and she gave me a bunch of stuff that I have in my new apartment, like my glassware and
Oh,
stuff.
it's beautiful.
Like we were having crackers at this little table, like that's hers too.
Oh,
So
that's her
yeah, so she's like
table.
in the DNA of the space.
Yeah.
And just seeing the last couple of conversations like these and how those went, I'm just excited to see how it goes.
Me too.
So we have somebody calling in today from Scotland. If you can imagine, it's just like I'm sitting here in Brooklyn, just like it's blowing my mind.
Scotland, yes.
Before we go over to Willow, I just wanted to check in with you, Lynn, and see, is there anything that you want to share or anything you want everyone watching to know or anything you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to share how much I love these conversations and to come all the way to Brooklyn, which is across a bridge. And Manhattanites don't do that.
I know, especially
because-
Manhattanites with amazing, amazing spaces like Lynn.
Well, even if I lived in a hovel, it would be.
That's true.
But at any rate, I love these conversations, and I feel it's such a privilege, and it's so exciting to do a kind of focusing conversation. And what we mean by a focusing conversation is simply a conversation where we're speaking from whatever we're experiencing in the moment. And you, Willow, don't even have to know what a focusing conversation is. It's fine to just be with whatever you're with and be whoever you are in the moment. And that's what a focusing conversation is. So I'm very pleased to be here.
Amazing. Well, I guess let's welcome Willow to the call. 1 sec, I just have to press a button. I'm notoriously bad at pressing buttons during live streams. 1 sec.
Buttons are very, very hard.
Oh, I think I pressed it. Willow, are you with us?
Hi.
Amazing.
Hi.
Welcome, Willow. I will just be off to the side over here. And so don't mind me.
Okay. And can we have Willow a little louder?
Yeah. 1 sec. Willow, can you just say anything?
Hi.
Hi.
Is that is that louder? Is that good?
Oh, I
headphones
need
on.
my
I was
headphones.
like, wait a minute.
Wait. The secret ingredient.
Woo!
I can hear you perfectly
There we go.
now. But
If you
let's
want me
hope
to
my
adjust
hair isn't
the-
getting messed up.
Oh no, your hair looks great. If you need me to adjust the volume, just let me know.
Uh-huh. I think that you could have a focusing conversation even if your hair is messed up. But
Oh,
I don't want to
definitely.
try that out.
No, never.
Willow, I'm so glad to meet you.
I'm so
And
glad to meet you too. This is a really great opportunity.
yes, for me too. And where in Scotland do you live?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Oh, I went to the Edinburgh Festival. That was
Oh,
wonderful.
really?
Yes.
Was it good? When
Oh,
was
it
that?
maybe 10 years ago by
Wow.
now. But it was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah, it is really lovely to see all the different people from different countries coming from like just everywhere to see my little city.
Yes, it's a such a homey, beautiful city.
Thank
So
you very much.
special. So anything that you want to bring tonight is welcome. Could be anything that you're feeling in the moment, anything that you want to say. What we say in focusing language is anything that wants to be said. Like you could feel something that wants to be said, and it might not even make sense to you that that's what
Yeah.
wants to be said.
Okay, well, I think I'd like to talk about, I don't know, I recently got a new job again, because I was out of work for quite a while, because I sometimes find that quite hard to like deal with because
Oh, yeah.
I've got like quite bad like anxiety and stuff. So it's like at the same time it's like it's stressful and also rewarding. But it's like trying to find a balance of that
The
because it's still only like
stressful, the
yeah.
stressful and rewarding at the same time. The sort of the two sides of the same coin in a way.
This job is a lot better than ones I've had in the past though because you know the people are very supportive, which is
Oh, that's
very
so
good.
important.
I often have a habit of feeling like I'm not as good as them in the job, like even after I've been there for a while. But I still feel like I'm on like the same level as them now. So that's really nice because I have like a habit of staying quiet, like just okay, keep my head down, do the job. But I mean,
That
it is
seems
exactly work.
like an important new thing of feeling, instead of feeling less than, feeling on the same level and not keeping your head down, but somehow coming into it with your head up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Because that does happen sort of with like friends and stuff as well, I guess. Like I don't want to seem like overbearing or something. So sometimes I'll just like keep quiet, stay away, and be like, I don't want to annoy them. So I guess confidence is the issue, I think, really.
But it sounds like confidence that you're welcome somehow. That if you have your head up, maybe it will be annoying rather than that you'll be received, happily. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's Willow. You feel like it will be annoying.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of always been that way. But I'm working on getting better, so it'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So there's the always feeling of keeping your head down and not making trouble, not sticking out too much.
Yeah.
But that's getting better, and it's going to be okay.
Exactly. It's when you like make a mistake and you don't want to tell anyone because it's like you think everyone's gonna like hate you for it. I'm trying to get better at like admitting when I've done something and not just like brushing it under the rug. Like, no, that wasn't me. Bye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's a head up kind of approach, to be able to say it and to have faith that people will receive it.
Yeah.
That they won't hate you.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. It's sort of a risk, isn't it? To show this, to show yourself as somebody that makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And yet it's such a wonderful quality, the people who can easily show that they make mistakes. I'm thinking of my mentor, Gene Gendlin, who created focusing. And he was so good at just being easy with his mistakes. Just like not making a big deal about it, but just at being open about his mistakes. It was very freeing to be with him.
That sounds really nice, actually, yeah. What else? I suppose, I guess, because I'm feeling quite anxious right now because, you know, I'm live on the internet.
Yes.
I'd like to talk a little bit about like how controlling that can be in your life.
The anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have it right here, right? That anxiety is right here. It's an opportunity in a way. Like
Yeah,
this
true,
thing, it's right here. We could, we can be with it right here and see what does it feel like in your body, that anxiety? What does it say? What is it like?
Well, I mean, physically, it feels cold. Like, my arms have like gone cold. It's really weird. But apart from that, it just makes me very smiley. Like, and I giggle a lot more.
So it's smiley and cold.
Yeah. Smiley and cold.
Yeah.
But it's like that, just the fact that like anxiety is always with me is like really weird. And I wish it wouldn't be, you know.
Yeah.
Because it makes stuff like this quite difficult.
Yeah. I wonder if we could make a space for it to be here now, since, we want to kind of look at it, get to know it, see what it is.
How would we do that?
Well, maybe you could see for a minute anything else about it beside the smiley and cold. Any other ways that you're anxious?
Well, I sometimes get quite distant, so like I'm not really connected to myself, and I'm like trying to speak and just like the words aren't coming to my brain.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know that feeling. Yeah.
Or
Like
it's just
your mouth, your brain is one place and you're in another place.
Yeah, exactly. Or like yesterday, I was on my way out and I just sort of stood in the street and stared into space for no reason. I was just having one of those days, and then I like came to like myself again, and I was like, "Oh, what am I doing?" And I knew that something was bothering me in the back of my head, but I didn't really know what it was. So it's also like that.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of what focusing is. Focusing is like when you know that there's something there and you don't know what it is, and when you can just pause and say, what is that? It comes to you, but you can't control it. You can't make it come. It just comes of its own free will somehow. But if you feel into that now, how it was to be in the street, and then to come to yourself and say, wow, what was going on there? See if anything
It's like I was
comes.
thinking about every single thing apart from what I needed to think about at that moment, which was walking.
Every single thing, like worries, like things you had to do.
Yeah, it's like my brain was trying to do like 60 things at once, like working out all the different problems, and then it was just like walking's not important.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And then you
It's not
came
good when
to
it does that.
yourself and you said, "Oh, I'm walking."
Yeah. I was like, have you ever like gone outside and been walking for a while and then just sort of realized where you are and you're like, when did I leave my house? Because you have vague memories of like walking along the street and going about your day and whatever. And it's like you've just been so deep in thought that like
Yeah.
you suddenly realize like, oh, I've been on autopilot this entire time.
Yes, I certainly know what that's like. And then that feeling of coming back to yourself. That feeling of, oh, I'm coming home to myself. Oh, here I am. Look at this. And what?
Another thing that sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Another thing that happens as well is I know that I'm really anxious about something when I have very, very vivid dreams. Because like I wake up and they're so vivid that I sometimes can't tell like where the dream ends and reality begins. And so that's really confusing for a minute, obviously. So that's another way. I think my brain just goes into overdrive. And so it like makes up all these things to dream about. And then I wake up and I'm like, wait, what?
Wow, your brain is really talking to you.
Yep.
Creating all of these amazing stories and images in your sleep to communicate to you, to tell you what it, what it's anxious about, right?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what it's trying to say, but it's trying.
It is. Do you have one of those dreams to remember to share?
Well, there are a few. Last night, my dream was really strange, actually. It was like my brain tried to create a really bad sci-fi movie.
Oh.
And so there was this machine that suddenly got like given to me that could change different parts of your life. And so it's like it would make like an alternate dimension or whatever, which had parts of your life like as it was now, and then like new parts as well. But you couldn't choose.
You can choose.
And so it was.
You can choose. You could
No,
choose.
you couldn't.
You can't choose. Oh, I
No.
see. Okay.
And so it was just like trying to find a way to make this machine work properly, and thinking about like all the different things, and like someone in my family who I lost was in my dream, but I knew that I'd lost them already, so it was like extra time, which was really strange as well. So yeah, it's like I don't know what it's trying to do, really.
Yeah. Let me say the dream back to you, and you just listen. Maybe you could sit back and take a breath, because nothing is expected of you now. I'm just going to tell you what I remember of the dream, and just to take it in. There's this Wi-Fi kind of situation, and this machine-like dimension that could make new aspects of your life, new scenarios as well as old. But you can't choose what it makes. And there's someone from your family that has been lost, was in that dream, was there. And the machine was trying to find a way of working with this. Working well.
It does make a bit more sense now that you say it. I feel like it might have something to do with, because I'm at that stage of like being a young person. I'm 20. I'm like, I don't really know where I'm going. And also, I suppose it's been 5 years since I lost that family member, and so maybe it's like a different stage of moving on from that, I suppose. And so it's like comparing my old life to a life I could have in the future. And so my brain is just like trying to think down all the different roads. I'm not
That
sure.
the feel of the dream when you heard it felt like, oh yes, this is like my life. That there are these different roads, and my brain, my organism, myself is trying to make it all work together.
Yeah.
But I
Exactly.
can't quite choose what
No.
direction. It's not fully up to me what new things I bring into my life. Is that the feel of it?
Yeah. And also I think quite a bit of unhappiness about where I am now. Because I mean, the job that I just got, it's not exactly like a good job. It's like, it's one of those jobs you have when you're young. Because I really cannot decide what I want to be doing. I've also just remembered another part of the dream, where I was demanding to someone. I was like, no, I don't want to live any of these new lives. I want to stay as I am. No. And so I don't know what that's about.
Wow, that's very different than keeping your head down, right?
Yeah.
And you were demanding from someone. Tell me again what you were saying. You were demanding, and you were saying, no.
Yeah, I want to stay this version of me in this place with this life.
Wow. You were insisting, I want to stay this person, this dimension, this part of my life, right? Yeah.
Which kind of goes against everything I just thought. But
Let's just see what it says to you. I'm going to say it again.
okay.
Well, did I say it the right way? This person, this dimension, this. What was the third thing you said? Part of my life, or this?
It's like this life or something.
This life, yes. Okay. I'm going to say it again and just see, like trying it on, like you're trying on a new blouse or something, to see what it does. You're saying, I want this life, this dimension, this part of myself.
Yeah, that sounds like confidence.
Yeah. Insisting
Yeah.
that you have a right to it, right?
Yeah. That's also interesting because I spend a lot of my time thinking about things I could be doing. I'm like, oh, I could be traveling the world, or I could, I don't know, write a book. I don't know, like just thinking about all these things I could be doing, and then, waking up and playing video games. And so it's like, I need some like motivation in there somewhere. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's me trying to get motivated. Like, I want to be this person, but I have to do this.
Did it have a feeling of getting motivation, or the confidence to say it's
kind of.
this? Oh, had the feeling like, yes, I really want this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. I'm not usually a very motivated person, so it'd be nice if it means motivation.
You like that the dream would say that to you, that your brain, your unconscious, your inner self would be saying, there are all these different roads, different aspects, new things, and you don't get to choose. And this machine is trying to work together with all of these aspects. And then this part of, I want this, and I demand it. I am sure of it. I have confidence in it.
Yeah. It's quite a different thing for me to think, to be honest.
To think of yourself that way with that
Yeah.
confidence. Wow.
Because usually I'm very confident in other people. You know, someone's like, oh, I want to be an astronaut. I'm like, yes, go do it. Be an astronaut. You can do it. And then, like, if I'm like, oh, I want to get a job working with animals or something, I'm like, no, I can't do that. No.
Yeah. So the dream, let's see if this is right. I'm going to say it and then just to try it on to see if it's right. The dream is saying, Willow, you have this part of you. You have this in you, this confidence, not just for other people, but somewhere you know, I want this. And you have that gumption, that motivation, that something in you knows that maybe you don't consciously always feel that way, but something in you has that.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like
I
it
like
too.
that.
I like it too. You know, often dreams, even when they're nightmare dreams, dreams are a gift because it's a bigger you. You know, your unconscious you that goes way out and way deep and way, you know, and is in your body. That you is trying to communicate and tell you something. And it's so exciting to get the message that you is saying to you. And it was a surprise to you. It is a surprise to you still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I think I'm going to think about all my dreams kind of like in this way. Like I might write them down and then read them later, like as if someone else is saying them to me, because that's really helpful.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. I do that. I write. I have a file in my iPad where I write my dreams, and then I read it as if somebody else is saying it, because another part of me is saying it. I read it sort of like a poem, and I say, well, what does that say to me? And then I just write down anything that comes to me about it.
Yeah.
And then when I get that feeling of surprise that you got, I know I've received the gift that the dream is giving me.
Is there like a specific type of focusing conversations for dreams?
Yes, actually there is. There's a book that Gene Gendlin wrote, Let Your Body Interpret Your Dreams. And there's a lot of ideas in that book about how your dreams speak to you.
Yeah, I have always found dreams very interesting because I've always had quite vivid dreams, but like there's vivid and then there's vivid.
Yes. Well, I think that your vivid dreams are sort of an instance of your being very close to that part of yourself and it being intent on speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to talk to you.
I'm glad. I'd like to talk to it too.
Yeah.
If I could.
Well, you are.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. Whenever you sort of just pause and you say, well, what comes to me about that? It's like talking to it, inviting it to come, inviting it to sort of manifest. So how is your anxiety now that we're...
Actually a lot better, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. I think something I just thought about what you just said is that I often think of my brain as the enemy. So it's just like, oh, gosh darn, my brain is making me anxious. My brain is making me feel all these bad things. But I guess I've never really thought that it's something else and then me and my brain. And my brain is not the enemy. Because I think
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of tension between those two parts of me. Like, so maybe that's something I could work on as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tension between you and your brain.
Mhm.
And this thought is, maybe not, maybe my brain isn't the enemy. Maybe it wants to help me. Maybe
Yeah.
it wants to guide me, and maybe I want to talk to it. It's really different.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Ooh.
I feel excited too. Like, wow. It makes
It
such a
actually
difference, doesn't it?
It really does. It actually sort of reminds me of a therapy session I had about 5 years ago, I think, where somehow the therapist managed to open up communication between me and my 5-year-old self. And because there was a lot of stuff going on when I was 5 years old. Like, I moved country, things with my parents were difficult because they were never together, but I was moving away from where my dad was.
Oh.
And so, like, I kind of talked to the younger me, and I just burst out crying, just in the room with my therapist, just burst out crying. So I think it's a really valuable thing to be able to communicate with, like, older versions of you and the different parts of your brain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It sounds like that was such an alive moment. When
It really was.
It's like really connecting with that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That little girl that was being separated from her daddy. Was it that feeling? Yeah. Moving away of. Yeah. And those tears that were there, you could really experience them, and that was so different, to really be able to cry from that place.
Because I don't really remember crying all that much when I was that age. But it's like they were also sort of half angry tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a really different experience just to suddenly be overcome with all this emotion. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The sad, angry, full expression, not held back, not held down. Yeah. It just came. And it was interesting that it came because your therapist invited it. It's like, because it was invited, and then it showed up in all of its fullness.
I also usually don't like crying in front of people. So it was really strange. Just like, oh, okay, I'm crying now. So this is fine.
Yeah. When it was invited, and then it showed up, and you could feel it from its point of view, from that little one's point of view, then it felt good to feel that, like being united with yourself.
Yeah.
Coming home to yourself and being your full self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to work on then, like making pathways between different parts of myself.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
So we can all communicate.
Great. Well, I'm going to tell Zach to give you my email address, and if you write to me about it, I would love to hear about it.
Wow, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Great. I love it too. So thank you very
so
much, Willow. That was a lovely conversation. I feel all excited.
Yes. Yeah. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for stopping by. And Willow, we just so appreciate. I know nobody can see me because I'm out of the frame.
Yeah, we have room for you. Here it is.
But yeah, just it's really awesome to get to share Lynn with you, and I so appreciate your generosity.
And sharing Willow with me.
Right.
Don't forget that.
I mean, that was a privilege.
Wow.
Seriously. And Willow, we so appreciate, I know from me and Lynn, and I'm sure from the folks at home, your generosity in sharing yourself here. It's an unusual thing to do, and I think it makes a difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's an honor and a privilege and buttons. And yeah, until next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
So Lynn, thank you. Yeah, we can take the headphones off. Just such a joy.
That was such a fun session.
Seriously.
Wow.
Oh, my hair's messed up now.
Good.
So should we say goodnight?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you're not subscribed to Lynn's channel, Lynn has her own channel with a bunch of amazing videos that you can check out. I will put the link in the description, and when this is not live anymore, there'll be a button like somewhere over here.
And Willow and other people might want to look at the video called A Calm Foreboding, which is about a recurrent dream. And the person having the conversation with me had this dream about 30 times. Wow. The same dream. So if you want to look for that, it's really interesting.
Wow. Well, thank you. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye. This is the part where I have to find the button that stops it.
The button.
And then there's like another button. And I really should be better at it at this point. There's